I think Putin is tired of it. I think they're all tired of it.
These are really, really complex decisions.
It's possible that he doesn't want to make a deal. I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole.
Welcome to Tactical Truths, the go-to series for military news, tactical analysis, and frontline stories that matter. Before we get started, I need your help. 73% of you who watch regularly haven't subscribed yet. If you like what we do, hit that subscribe button. It's free and helps us make this show better for you every single week. I'm Phil Campion, former UKSF, and this is Tactical Truths. The United States position is now official. No American boots in Ukraine bust. Instead, Washington hints at a limited air support campaign, maybe no fly zones, possibly drones, maybe just enough to be seen to be helping, possibly. Trump says it's time Europe steps up. France, Germany, Britain, well, they'll have to man the ground if peacekeepers are needed. But is that strategy? Or is it just a big fat cop-out? I'm Phil Campion, former UKSF, and this, it's a Tactical Truth. Now let's take a look at what's being said by you-know-who.
The behind-the-scenes pictures released by the White House indicate the frenzy of diplomacy that has consumed Washington.
The frenzy of diplomacy. I like that. That's the frenzy of diplomacy.
And no less important for a president preoccupied with his image, it shows Donald Trump as the conductor.
There's plenty of stuff there to go on his Instagram, isn't there?
European leaders gathered around him, showing deference, trying to glean whether this is a deal that might actually fly.
It's a great honor to have you here. Special place. White House is special no matter where you're from.
There's no denying he is front and centre there, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? And there's one trumpet he's blowing, I'm going to tell you, innit?
Represents so much, and it really is beautiful. And thank you for all of the wonderful things that took place today. We've had a very successful day thus far. And important discussions as we work to end the killing and stop the war in Ukraine. We're all working for the same goal.
Love to be a fly on the wall in some of them, I really would, do you know what I mean?
Very simple goal. We want to stop the killing. Prime Minister Starmer of the United Kingdom, our friend and my friend, and doing really well. And people like him a lot. We all like him. Everyone knows President Macron of France, who's been with me from the beginning, one of the first people I met.
Macaron.
As a foreign dignitary, and I liked him from day one. And I like him even more now. That's pretty good. That's unusual. That's a pretty unusual thing. Prime Minister Meloni of Italy, who's a...
Is he trying to do something which people have been trying to do for years? Get people to actually stand up, take responsibility for their own quarter. Do you know what I mean? Did you do your bit? I'll do mine. Do you know what I mean? Is that where he's coming out with this? I don't know. Let me know. Go on.
Really a great leader and an inspiration over there. She's served now, even though she's a very young person, she's served there for a long period of time relative to others. They don't last very long. You've lasted a long time. You're going to be there a long time. Chancellor Merz of Germany, who is a very strong person and a very strong leader and very highly respected in Germany.
I mean, this is the opening gambit. This is the sort of, like, I'd call it fart catching, like, do you know what I mean? It's bringing people on side in their language. Fart catching in mine. And
he's my friend, and it's an honor to have him as my friend. Thank you very much. Very good. You look great with your tan. Where did you get that tan?
You look great with your tan.
Notably, a map of the Russian advances in eastern Ukraine was positioned prominently to one side, underlining that territorial concessions would have to be on the table.
And I think we all know that there is for all those sort of like pleasantries and fart catching, there's a serious side to it. There's a proper serious side, do you know what I mean? Because all the time you're sat around that table, people are actually being shelled and life is being lost right now.
On his favourite TV morning show today, Trump made clear his security guarantees did not include a single soldier.
What kind of assurances do you feel like you have that it won't be American boots on the ground defending that border?
Well, you have my assurance, and I'm president, and I'm just trying to stop people from being killed.
I mean, that is as plain as it gets. He does not want to send boots on the ground. He has, you know, has he got an argument to say we don't need to do that? We can genuinely help out elsewhere, but that's your back garden, so you need to police it. There'll be some people who would say we don't want your interference. You know what I mean? So we need to police it ourselves. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. Come on.
But he was quick to suggest that British and European troops are ready to step into the security vacuum.
We've got the European nations, and they'll front-load it, and they'll have some of them, France and Germany, a couple of them, UK. They want to have, boots on the ground. Not in. I don't think it's.
Thing is, he would have seen stuff elsewhere where people weren't so keen to stick boots on the ground, or they stuck them there and went, oh, well, they're not going to do that, they're not going to do this, they're not going to deploy. You know what I'm saying? So he probably in his own mind's thinking, well, we're not having that again. Do you know what I mean? So that might be his standpoint. I don't know.
It's going to be a problem, to be honest with you. I think Putin is tired of it. I think they're all tired of it.
Only briefly did he concede his optimism in Putin might be misplaced.
It's possible that he doesn't want to make a deal.
And then he joked the Nobel Peace Prize wasn't his only goal.
I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole.
He's determined for this Nobel Peace Prize. He really is. That's his. Is that his motive? Let me know.
But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons.
There was a revealing hot mic moment before talks began yesterday, seeming to confirm that Trump genuinely feels Putin will sign up to a deal as some kind of favour.
I think he wants to make a deal for me. You understand? As crazy as it sounds.
But conflicting with that
when you're at that level, you don't have hot mic moments. That's a drop in. That's deliberate. As far as I'm concerned, that's deliberate. You don't have hot mic moments. You know what I mean? You genuinely, you're the president of the United States. You don't need to be leaking stuff out like that. Nothing gets said, nothing gets heard that they don't want you to see, or want you to hear. Believe me, I'm adamant on that.
Optimistic view is the grim reality of continuing assaults by Russian forces on Ukrainian apartment blocks, as well as gas storage facilities, lighting up the sky over the city of Kremenchuk. After his Alaska
none of that stuff's any good, is it?
success, President Putin was visible in meetings at the Kremlin today. While his foreign minister Sergei Lavrov implied that no meeting with Zelensky was imminent, saying it would need significant preparation. That confirms the biggest single question remains whether Trump at the Alaska summit had accurately assessed the Russian leader's motives and intentions.
Good afternoon, everybody.
But at the White House today, the spokeswoman was clear. Putin has promised to meet Zelensky.
President Trump spoke with President Putin by phone, and he agreed to begin
Lot of saber rattling still going on, isn't there? Lot of this, that, and the other.
the next phase of the peace process, a meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky.
Did Putin promise to do a meeting with Zelensky, a direct meeting, in the coming weeks?
He has.
Do you do a meeting or do you have a meeting?
As European leaders met again today, this time by a video conference, there is clear relief that any transatlantic fracture over Ukraine has been averted, at least for now. Certainly the disastrous diplomatic implosion of 6 months ago has been set aside. President Zelensky can...
Yeah, they're in a lot better place than him taking the mickey out of his T-shirt and that, you know what I mean? Remember the last time? What an absolute cluster that was, you know what I mean? So they're in a better place. And you know this saber-rattling stuff, it normally goes right up to the wire, doesn't it?
Return home having successfully mended fences at the Trump White House. But he still faces some agonizing decisions on surrendering Ukrainian territory to the Russian invader. Robert Moore, News at 10, Washington.
Now, at the heart of the argument over territory.
I mean, that's ultimately going to be what it comes down to, isn't it? How much are you prepared to give? What's unacceptable? What's acceptable? I just hope they sort it out. I really genuinely hope it's sorted out, because the loss of life on this one is absolutely catastrophically, you know, and the people that it's affecting is across the board hideous.
In any kind of peace deal will be the future of Ukraine's much discussed Donbass area, short for the Donetsk River coal basin. It is a coal-rich, industrialized region. This is the current front line of the Russia-Ukraine war. Alongside security guarantees for Ukraine, it's obviously territory that the Russians want. One proposal discusses Ukraine giving up Luhansk and the eastern region of Donetsk, which together make up the Donbass. Those who fled Donetsk to the relative safety of Kyiv can't bear to contemplate that.
Massive decisions again, massive decisions. And you've got to bear this in mind. You know, if you came from one of those regions and it was given away after the sacrifice that's been made keeping it, where does that sit? You know, these are really, really complex decisions. Okay, then, we've just seen what the press are saying. But here is our summary. America's playing it safe. No boots on the ground, maybe a bit of air support, but nothing much more. That's not the same as standing shoulder to shoulder with the Ukraine, is it? It's not, is it? It's standing back, waving from a distance and saying, Europe, over to you lot. Now, you could argue that that's smart. The US avoids another forever war. Europe finally takes responsibility for its own backyard. Fair play. But here's the flip side. Is this just a window dressing? A way for Trump to look involved without risking US lives? Because missiles don't get stopped by photo ops. Air support without ground troops is like giving someone an umbrella in a hurricane. Nice gesture, nice touch, but it doesn't stop you getting soaked, does it? So here's the big question. Is Trump really keeping America safe, or is he just doing enough to be seen to be doing something? Is he playing clever politics or abandoning Ukraine to carry on the fight alone? And if Europe is forced to step up, does that make NATO stronger or fracture it when some nations refuse to send their soldiers? Because they will. Either way, Russia will smell weakness. If the US don't commit on the ground, Putin will test how far Europe is willing to go without Uncle Sam holding their hand. And that's the danger, because once that line is tested, it could break. What do you think? Drop us your thoughts in the comments below. Go on, I'm looking forward to this. We want to hear them. And if you want to hear the conversations that we don't discuss openly for just 16 pence a day on ForceTV Plus, you know where to go, don't you? Our YouTube channel, and sign up.